got to acknowledge the MVP winner, black quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, definitely.
Salute to Lamar Jackson for winning his second.
Yeah, I think
winning his second MVP. He's still in his 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I know he didn't get to the Super Bowl, but all that beside, what does this do for his career, and what does this do for black quarterbacks?
I think that, number one, let me say salute to Lamar Jackson because, and you alluded to this on previous podcasts, he, they was trying to make him a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yo, you shouldn't play quarterback. And those guys, let's call it what it is. This article, and we'll talk about it another time. Shouts out to Mike Freeman for USA Today because he was elaborating on this. And those coaches who are blatantly racist. Let's just call it what it is. But long story short, this does great for his career and for black quarterbacks. I think it helps the conversation because of what Mahomes just did. This kid can play. Now, let me give you two scenarios. One, I'm going to use a race card. There's a guy up in New York that they gave all this money to before they gave that guy running back Saquon Barkley money.
Daniel Jones?
Yeah, gave him like $40 million, right? They thought he was the future in the franchise. And look how that has worked out. Right? There's rumors that they're looking to go somewhere else because they make a trade because he ain't our guy. That's not Dable's guy. But I'll leave that alone. I just wanted to make that point. Second, there's another guy in Dallas that got $40 million a year. And he wet the bed in the first game. And I'm going to take a quote for Stephen A. Smith because this ain't even me. This is what he was doing during the game. There's a camera on me. This is what he was doing during the whole game, right? That's what Stephen A. Smith said. He's right. Lamar Jackson got his money. And even though he didn't play great, he got into the AFC Championship game. He just lost to one of the greatest quarterbacks that's going to ever play the game. I'm not mad about that. He'll get over the hump, but he's just playing one of the greatest quarterbacks, or who happens to be black. Half black, I'm sorry, but he's black. We all know. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is that it does great. And maybe, I think the league has adapted because they don't have a choice. I think, and thank God, and no disrespect to Michael Vick. I know it's not going all over the place, but once again, I'm going to make my point. Because when you have Michael Vick, I'm going to give a real quick excerpt. Michael Vick and Peyton Manning, they came out around the same time. Everybody said Vick was going to be the better quarterback than Manning. He would have had clearly the outside. We all know the story. That kind of put black quarterbacks backwards. I'm going to be honest. You know why? Let me tell you another real quick story. Quincy Carter from the Cowboys. He got suspended for smoking weed after Bill Parcells gave him a second chance because he was messing up. Okay? So the point I'm making is that when they were willing to take the chance on black quarterbacks,
some of them were messing up.
They just kept, give it time. It's like what Stephen A. says about the company. Just give it time. They're gonna mess it up. They're going to screw it up. But I think now as you look forward, when you look at the black quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, they just played.
Mahomes,
Patrick Mahomes.
Homeboy.
Yeah, my homeboy, Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts. Jordan Love. Somebody else I'm missing here. Deshaun Watson. There's somebody else I'm missing here. Tua, right? Who? Yeah, person of color. Facts. So when you look at it, we are now starting to see these quarterbacks that are doing well, and we're not hearing trouble. We're not hearing destroying franchises. We're hearing them to move on and do what they're doing. I think it was big for Lamar Jackson. He just has to get over that hump. What my problem is with him is don't do what everybody wants you to do. Do what you got to do. He should have ran
that ball a little more in that game.
Patrick Mahomes is a thrower too. For the last time the 49ers played him, the one before this one, what got them over the hump was Patrick Mahomes took off. Mm-hmm. And where it helped them on fourth down a few times yesterday, Patrick Mahomes took off.
I saw it.
Don't let them dictate that this is the way to win Super Bowls. Because Brock Purdy's a pocket passer. How'd that work out for him?
He's a nice game manager.
Yeah, that's great.
You got a nice article there. You want to bring it up?
No. This is not to go off, but it's an interesting column from Mike Freeman. He clearly did this column before the Super Bowl. Like, okay. You know this is a deadline. So his article came out before the outcome of the Super Bowl yesterday. But he was talking that black quarterbacks have a foothold in the Super Bowl because of Mahomes. So, and he was talking about he broke it all down in here. It's There's a column by Mike Freeman in the sports section of USA Today. For anybody that knows, please check it out. It's a dope article. Freeman does release some dope articles. I don't agree with everything he says, but he does some dope articles. Another person, even though, the toilet bag organization, we call it the Broncos for right now, because after what they pulled with Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson's won the Super Bowl. He talks about how when Doug Williams won that Super Bowl, and people don't know this, I was a kid and I watched that.
Back in the 90s.
And I didn't understand racism back then. But Doug Williams won that Super Bowl. He paid the price for that. Nobody ever took Doug Williams back after that. I don't know why they took it out on him. Nobody ever picked him up. I mean, Nick Foles has got more chances than I don't know what.
Do you think that played in the mind of Cam Newton when he didn't dive on that ball in the Super Bowl?
Maybe. I don't know. But that's another thing. Cam Newton got into a Super Bowl. If you notice, a lot of these Super Bowls, there's a lot of black quarterbacks.
You just talked about Doug Williams paying the price.
He paid the price. And let me say this with Cam Newton, because there's some things. Can I address that real quick?
Go ahead.
Because we were talking about Lamar Jackson. Cam Newton, I think he talked about Brock Purdy as a game manager, right? And he has
Did he lie?
He has no, but let me make this clear. Cam Newton made a good point. I don't know if anybody saw this because he was on First Take not too long ago. He said, yo, I've never had an off season. They just called me and say, yo, can you come in? He said, remember when I was with the Patriots, Belichick just called me to come in. I didn't have no off season with the Patriots. I don't know. I don't. That's a
rhetorical question.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
None.
So nothing. So and they went 7-9. Then Matt Jones took over and they got to the playoffs with 9-7 or 10-6. They did a little better. So Matt Jones sat for a year. He went to Carolina in the middle of the season, came back, came off the couch. He said after that, he said people were saying it's over. Well, how is it over? What are you talking about? Did you? And then Brock Purdy comes out and says, yeah, well, Cam Newton. I know. He said because I guess they asked him, and he says, well, I know about the 90+ quarterbacks that's in the league, and he's not one of them. Okay, but you're part of the crew of the quarterbacks that he's in that have lost the Super Bowl. You're one of them.
How many times is this for San Francisco? 3 Super Bowl losses?
I think this is 2.
You might want to check that. I think it's 3.
Well, 3, yeah, because of the one with Baltimore with Kaepernick. And then there was the next one with Garoppolo. And then there's this one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Brock Purdy.
So to say Lamar Jackson, it's great that he got it just solidifies what these so-called GMs and scouts are basically idiots. Not all of them, but the majority of them are idiots. And they're arrogant, and they have an old school way of thinking. I've seen this quarterbacks I saw coming out of college, black quarterbacks, and they made them receivers. Antoine Randall, who else was that? Michael Vick, they was trying to make one. He said no, too. And Lamar Jackson said no. And there's somebody else I'm missing here. I think it's Michael Williams from Seattle. But he was a quarterback, and they said, yo, you should go be a running back. I don't want to be a running back, man. I don't. And salute to Lamar Jackson. You know why it's so important that he won an MVP? Because this young black boy's looking at him from when he got drafted that day. Because I remember he was like 29th or 30th. He got drafted that day, and he said, they going to get a Super Bowl out of this. He said, I ain't going to never forget the teams that passed on me. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I just want to say, Baltimore was in the AFC Championship game. I don't remember Tennessee being in the AFC Championship game. I don't remember the Chargers being in the AFC Championship game. I know they got Justin Herbert. I don't remember the Raiders being in a championship game. I don't remember New England being in a championship game. The guys that probably passed on Lamar Jackson because they just have their old school way of thinking.
Salute to Lamar Jackson. He got more MVPs in his system.
Oh, facts. So
let's get into
him and Mahomes are going to be having a duel. That ain't going to be the first and last time they're going to see each other.
So let's get into the big game, the Super Bowl.